Welcome back. Now let's turn our attention to Edo State, where a somewhat novel and intriguing political crisis is brewing in the State House of Assembly, following the expiration of the last assembly on June the 7th. 2 weeks ago, an interesting drama played out in the state when 9 out of the 24 members elect of the House were inaugurated behind closed doors. The inauguration was reportedly performed by the clerk of the House, Audu Omagbai, at about 9:30 p.m., of course some people say 3 p.m. actually, after the letter of proclamation transmitted to the office of the clerk by Governor Godwin Obaseki was read. The 9 lawmakers thereafter elected Frank Okia, I should say, and Yekini Idiaye as Speaker and Deputy Speaker respectively before adjourning to July 17. But on Monday, the lawmakers cut short, that's the following Monday now, they cut short the adjournment and reconvened under tight security to swear in 2 more members elect. That makes a total of 11 members now sworn in altogether. Now, the other members elect who were not at the inauguration have, of course, expressed surprise that the House could be inaugurated behind their back and have kicked against the entire process, insisting that a minority could not seat and elect the leadership of the House. At the heart of the crisis is who should be the Speaker of the House, and everyone believes it's a proxy war between the former governor of the state and current national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, and the man who succeeded him, incumbent Governor Godwin Obaseki. Interestingly, all 24 elected members of the House and the key actors behind the scene belong to the ruling All Progressives Congress. So it's a clear case of a House divided against itself. The National Working Committee of the party, that's the APC now, has condemned the development in strong terms, describing the inauguration of the House as illegal. Meanwhile, immediate past national chairman of the party, John Deji Oyegun, has accused his successor, Adams Oshomole, for the crisis rocking the assembly. Oyegun says Oshomole is guilty of anti-party activities by working against the interest of the governor ahead of the governorship election holding next year. Allegations, of course, which Oshomole has denied. But it would seem the Edo State House of Assembly is used to this kind of political drama, because in 2014, the Assembly was engulfed in a similar crisis which resulted in the emergence of 2 parallel leadership that sat separately. That exact situation is also replayed itself, I should say, recently in Bauchi State, where 2 speakers emerged as at the State House of Assembly. Abubakar Sulaiman was elected Speaker by 11 out of 31 members who secretly conversed at the Assembly complex as early as 6 a.m. Hours later, 18 other lawmakers held a parallel election and selected Kawu Damina as Speaker of the House. The issue is still to be resolved as well. And what a way to start a session in a legislative house. Let's get some legal opinion now on this, and now being joined from Abuja by Ehioje West Idahosa, who is a lawyer and a former member of the House of Representatives. Well, thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the program. You are a lawyer, and so you probably have a better understanding of this. How exactly would you explain what happened in Edo State House of Assembly?
Significantly, let me be honest with you. I think the problem in Edo State is more political than legal. The reason I say so is that, remember that there is no specific manner in which a governor can make a proclamation. And once he makes that proclamation, he makes the proclamation by sending a letter to the clerk of the House. And it is the clerk of the House who would then notify the members-elect about the proclamation and fix a date for inauguration of the House. Now, once this has been done, there is no requirement of the law that all members-elect must be present. Now, those who decide to come there, in my humble view, so long as they form a quorum of the given number of the House, that inauguration can take place. Many have argued that there is no number required to inaugurate the House. With the greatest respect, I disagree. Does it mean that when 1 or 2 members are gathered, inauguration can take place? My answer is no. I think that the quorum requirement provided in the Constitution is for the business of the House of Assembly to take place. And you cannot read one section of the Constitution in order to arrive at this. You have to read it together with all other sections of the Constitution in order to make some sense. So I submit with respect that there required to be a quorum before inauguration will occur. And I submit further that there was a quorum with the number at 9, the House of Assembly at 24, the quorum is 8. So what took place is that there was a quorum, and once a quorum is formed and inauguration occurs, the only business of the day is the election of presiding officers. So I am not surprised at all that this occurred.
Look, I can understand your position, but you know, is this not setting a dangerous precedent that some members of the House, because you're talking about quorum from members who have actually been elected but have not even been sworn in as members of the Assembly?
Of course.
Does the whole idea of quorum now actually apply? And then besides, is this not setting a dangerous precedent? Because this could happen in any state House of Assembly or even the National Assembly as a whole, where some members could actually meet and decide that because they have actually formed a quorum and because they actually want the Speaker to come from their side, they could just go ahead and inaugurate themselves as members of the House of Assembly in the case of the National Assembly, for instance.
You have to understand that this inauguration was not self-perpetuated. It was in accordance with the law. The clerk of the House was there. He read out the proclamation, and those who were present, having formed a quorum, went ahead to carry out the business of the day.
I accept, you're right. The clerk of the House was there, but I'm saying, is this proper? What precedents are we setting? Because we also saw the same thing in the Bauchi State House of Assembly as well. Is this the right thing?
I think the Bauchi State is a bit of a different scenario. In this case, the belief by many is that despite the fact that members had a proclamation, notice of proclamation, that a group of members were busy holding meetings elsewhere, plotting on how to install a leadership on the House. It's their right to hold meetings. If they choose to be at another venue and not in the venue of the House of Assembly when proclamation was going on, I don't think anybody can be blamed for that. I mean, that's what happened.
Now hold on, sir. Let's face it. This is still political because in this case, you have the majority of members who say they did not get that proclamation at all and they were kept in the dark about this whole thing. And then some other set of lawmakers, of course, in the minority, got the proclamation letter and then went ahead. And in any case, we can't deny the fact that the governor has a strong interest in this case. We can't deny it.
Well, the thing is that the law and morality are separate and separable. We are not interested in the morality of this action as far as I am concerned. I am only interested in the law as a lawyer. Was the law met? I can assure you if the law was not met, I will be one of those who will shout out. After all, in the last couple of years, I am sure I have done more public litigation for Edo State interests than a lot of people. I took time to look at the law, and I even found out that there are provisions in the Constitution which does not preclude the House from operating on account of the absence of certain membership. So put together, I think it was a smart move founded on law. Leave the issue of morality to those who prefer to moralize. I think as in all aspects of life, equity only aids the vigilant. A member who knows that he's been elected should be on the lookout for proclamation. You cannot expect to be holding press conferences when proclamation comes and you are not present.
In terms of the quorum now, bottom line is what you're saying is that on the basis of the Constitution, those members, the 9 members who inaugurated themselves, actually on the basis of the Constitution, they did the right thing and they actually constituted the actual number needed to inaugurate the House?
Well, the truth is that the information at my disposal is that the notice of proclamation was made available to all members elect. How that was done is left for those who didn't get it to prove that. And in any case, some of the members said that they got to the chambers as early as 12 o'clock and they were waiting for the others until about 3 o'clock when proclamation was read and inauguration made and the election of presiding officers done. We can only rely on the votes of proceedings of the House on that day. That is the official communication of the House of Assembly. Any other thing outside the votes of proceedings is rumor mongering.
But do you think this will not set a very wrong precedent?
I don't think a precedent founded in law is wrong. What is in dispute is whether the action is politically correct or politically incorrect. That's not a matter for law. That's a matter for expedience. Once you meet the rule of law on inauguration of an assembly, every other thing, to me, is cosmetic. So it is left for those who have been outsmarted to find their way back to the house for which they were elected. But if you want to talk about the legality, this one was strong and on the side of the law.
Well, I think one of these days we're going to have it in the National Assembly as well. That's if we actually haven't had it before. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your contributions. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll get another opinion on this same subject matter. On Deji 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
Deji 360, providing clarity to issues.